I like things my way, my coffee, my schedule, and my treatment. So I talked to my doctor about self-injecting with the new Vyvgart Hytrulo prefilled syringe, which contains F-gartigimod alpha and hyaluronidase QVFC. It's injected under your skin, subcutaneously. Now I can inject in my space on my time. It's my treatment, my way. Visit VyvgartMyWay.com. That's VYVGART myway.com. And talk to your doctor about Vyvgart Hytrulo. Brought to you by argenx.
I'm Kiana, and I leveled up my business with Shopify. Once I figured out that Shopify was a thing, I never turned back. I can create a site with my eyes closed. Shopify thinks ahead of us, and it thinks about the customer more than anything. Every day I'm thinking about some other new business, but Shopify is doing it to me because it's so easy to use. It's like I can't stop. I'm addicted.
Start your free trial at Shopify.com.
Coming up on SportsCenter all night. Football action in Houston.
Woody in the backfield, CJ in the gun. First down, Stroud to throw. Guns it long downfield, right side, and Nico with the catch right side of the end zone, and touchdown! Rock and roll!
A coaching rivalry renewed.
One thing we would certainly see eye to eye on is about competing. He's always been a great competitor. He's battled through so much in his playing days and his coaching days as well. So I appreciate him saying that because I'd like to play with him too.
A battle of two National League giants on the diamond.
Gathering some momentum. Here's some momentum. A high drive to right field. Max Muncy halfway up the pavilion to give the Dodgers the lead.
Plus, the outlook for Joe Burrow and the Bengals.
They have designed that offense to get the ball to the receivers and make plays. Without him in that lineup, you can't have the same expectations where we look at this team as a playoff contender.
From the worldwide headquarters of ESPN, this is SportsCenter all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Now, here's Jay Reynolds.
SportsCenter all night, ESPN Radio, the all-new ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80, Week 2, now in the rearview mirror. But for the first time this season, we have a division champ.
2 balls, 2 strikes, bases loaded, 2 outs, the pitch. Swinging a bouncer to first. Harper gloves it, takes it himself, and the Phillies take the National League East Division crown. It's their second straight divisional crown as the Phillies come running out of the dugout and share hugs on the pitcher's mound at Dodgers Stadium as the Phillies have clinched the National League East.
And they do it with a wild 6-5, 10-inning win over the Dodgers in L.A., 94 WIP. Second straight year, as you heard, that the Phillies clinched the division. We had 8 teams coming out of Sunday's NFL action who were sitting at 2-0 on the season. Monday night, a matchup of 2 more teams who won their season opener and thus looking to join the ranks of 2-0 teams. Raiders on the 74th birthday of Coach Pete Carroll hosting Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers. Pete Carroll, first person in NFL history to serve as a head coach of a team at the age of 74 or older. After trading field goals early in the third, Chargers closing out the first quarter with a bang.
So on a 2nd and 8, Keenan in motion, joins Quinn to the left. Here comes the blitz. Herbert drops back, has time, climbs the pocket, using his legs, moving to his right, throwing to the end zone. Caught! Touchdown, Chargers! The captain, Keenan Allen, with his second in as many games.
All 98-7 Los Angeles Chargers with that touchdown in the final half minute of the first quarter, inside the 2-minute warning of the second quarter.
Showing blitz, and they run 4. Herbert has all day in the pocket, takes a shot downfield, Q wide open, caught, Quinn Johnston, touchdown, Chargers. 60-yard touchdown. Herbert to Q.
Chargers up 17-6 at the half. They would add to the lead with a field goal midway through the third. Raiders, a 37-yarder early in the fourth, but in the end, it would not be enough.
Gino, they rush 4. Pressure coming, takes a shot to the end zone. Popped up in the air, intercepted for the 3rd time. A touchback.
I think Derwin tipped it.
Derwin definitely tipped it. And Dante Jackson comes down with it. Exactly what they needed. His 20th career interception.
All 98-7 Los Angeles. That would kill the momentum for the Raiders. Chargers go on to the 20-9 win in Las Vegas over the Raiders. For Geno Smith, 3 interceptions isn't going to get it done.
The first play of the game was a play that we designed. We had an open guy, led him a little bit too far out front. Ball gets tipped up, gets interception. A play that obviously you want to have those plays back. You can't. I mean, it's the reality of it. Took a shot to Dante. Before the half. I thought he had a safety on him. Thought he had a shot. I gave him a chance. Obviously, it didn't work out in our favor. So again, those are things that I got to learn from and be better at. Anything that doesn't look right out there, you put that on my feet, put that on my shoulders. I feel like I got to be a lot better for our guys. I know I have to, and I will be.
He ties a career high with 3 interceptions, including the one on the first play of the game. Leads the NFL with 4 interceptions, most by a player through their first 2 games with the Raiders since Carson Palmer in 2011. Geno Smith 0 for 11 with 3 picks on passes thrown more than 10 yards downfield. Raiders fall to the Chargers. Chargers getting the win, one of 2 teams that have yet to trail this season. Packers being the other. Chargers' second 2-0 start under Jim Harbaugh after the win in Las Vegas.
It was hard fought. I mean, it was a battle like all the ones, that every time you play the Raiders or play a Pete Carroll team. I mean, it was division rivalry. I mean, it was all of it, and. Both teams were just fighting, once everybody was all in out there.
His quarterback, Justin Herbert, 19 of 27, 242 yards and a couple of touchdowns. 4th straight game with multiple passing touchdowns and no picks. ESPN analyst Dan Orlovsky.
There's a philosophy change in that organization right now that Justin Herbert's the best player in the field every time that the Chargers play. And they're going to put the ball in his hands. And I think you're seeing some of the roster building take shape and show itself. They put him under center on early downs. They go hard ball, play action, and they try to take shots down the field. And it's paying off for them, and he's making really good decisions. And then there's a Keenan Allen or a Ladd McConkey. The health, the playmaking that he's had with his legs have been a really big deal. And so they're protecting him. He's got pockets to throw out there for days. And the perimeter players are playing really well. So it feels different when it comes to the offensive side of the football in Los Angeles.
Chargers go to 2-0, adding to the list of teams who are still unbeaten through 2 weeks of the season. They weren't the only ones with an unblemished record on the line Monday. The early game on the Monday night slate, Bucks, Texans in Houston, each team with a touchdown on its opening possession. It would be a 14-10 Tampa Bay lead at the half. Fast forward to the 4th quarter, Houston with a block punt, which they turn into a field goal with 5.5 to go to pull within a point. 14-13 at that point. Texans then hold Tampa Bay to 3 and out. They get a great punt return, and 2 plays later.
2nd and 9 at the Bucks 25, Stroud under center. Handoff, Chubb again up the middle, 20, angling right, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Houston! Chubb to the house, and the Texans lead Tampa Bay.
There we go, up 19-14 in the 4th, just over 2 minutes to go. Sports Radio 610. The response from Baker Mayfield and the Bucs offense, an 11-play drive covering 80 yards in 2 minutes.
2nd down and goal from 2 yards away. Rashad White, the running back, in motion. Cade Otton tied into the left edge. Mayfield sends it back in motion. Hands the ball off. Rashad White into the end zone. Is he in? Is he in? Touchdown Tampa Bay! Touchdown Tampa Bay! Buccaneers take the lead at 20-19.
With 6 seconds to go, and that's the ball game. 98 Rock. Buccaneers a 20-19 win after trailing with 2 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Rashad White's go-ahead 2-yard rushing touchdown with seconds to go. Buccaneers become the first team since 1970, the merger, to score a game-winning touchdown in the final 60 seconds of regulation in each of their first 2 games of the season. Coach Todd Bowles.
Again, resiliency, the chemistry these guys have about being around each other. And we talk a lot about culture, and culture helps you win ball games, especially on the road. The resiliency and the times we practice it over and over and over. We have some good battles in practice, and they know what to do by what coverage and what to see and how they're going to react to it. And everybody's bought in.
Take us through that. that drive and just how those guys were able to gut this out.
That was a heck of a job of situational football. Really, Baker on the 4th and 10, using his legs to get the first down. That kind of catapulted everything from there. Everything we practiced, everything we've talked about, and everything we've done about finishing the ball game, they did a heck of a job finishing.
For the Buccaneers, 5th consecutive season starting 2-0, extending their longest streak in franchise history, longest active streak in the NFL. Baker Mayfield, 2nd quarterback in Bucs history to lead a game-winning drive in the 4th quarter of overtime. Each of his first 2 games of a season, Doug Williams being the other in 1980. Our Laura Rutledge caught up with Mayfield.
All right, Baker, the game's on the line, 4th and 10. You go for it, and you're able to get the first down with your legs. What happened there from your perspective?
They just did a good job dropping out into coverage there, the 2-minute stuff. You know, they're able to do a lot of stuff with pressure, and they didn't do that. So they dropped out underneath some things and was able to just get with my legs. And obviously on that drive, though, guys making plays. Bucky did a hell of a job extending some of these check downs and easy throws that were there.
Yeah, this was a game that was tough. There were times where it looked like you were getting beat up out there. What was it like for you?
Yeah, it's tough. It's anytime you play the Texans, a team coached by D'Amico, they play hard. They're physical, they're well coached, and they play football the right way, flying around and aggressive. So, yeah, but a win's a win, and we'll take it.
What can you say about your offensive coordinator, his 2nd game now, Josh Broussard, calling plays?
I love Grizz. You know, we're going to keep growing and learning throughout this whole process, but our guys continue to lean into it and trust the plan, and we'll be all right.
And then what can you say about this team?
One more time.
What can you say about this team getting to 2-0? It's been 2 hard-fought, nail-biting wins for you guys.
Yeah, we'll take the wins for sure, but there's a lot of stuff we can clean up, especially offensively. I think we'll all look at the tape and say we can correct a lot and not make it this difficult on ourselves, but we'll take wins when we're having to scratch a claw, though.
Baker Mayfield's 7th straight game with multiple passing touchdowns. Texans have lost 3 straight games, including the playoffs, dating back to the divisional round last season. C.J. Stroud pressured on 43% of his dropbacks in the second half. Coach D'Amico Ryans.
D'Amico, how is the protection for C.J. Stroud still such a constant issue for the offensive line?
And we had communication issues up front, and they got us on some blitzes, things that, you know, we've seen, we work. You know, we have to look at the film to see what those issues were, but we got to, you know, of course, not have those and make sure we're picking things up the right way.
Stroud completed 5 of his first 7 passes, went 8 of 17 for the rest of the game, the final 3 quarters of the Monday night matchup. Sports Center all night, ESPN Radio.
Joe Burrow of the Cincinnati Bengals is going to have surgery on his toe and is likely to miss 3 entire months.
Which is going to take a team that would have contended for the Super Bowl and now leave it in a spot where they're going to fight to make the playoffs.
As soon as Joe Burrow is eliminated from that equation, you cannot mention the Bengals in that conversation.
In 2020, we all knew and looked at Joe Burrow and knew that he was going to be a great franchise quarterback. And he tore his knee up. And since then, they've picked production over protection.
Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow suffering the injury on Sunday in the first half of the game against the Jaguars, and the team says he will have surgery and he'll be sidelined a minimum of 3 months. ESPN insider Adam Schefter.
I think that it's just devastating for this team. A quarterback that's so good. They spend so much money on those wide receivers. Again, the offensive line has struggled to protect Joe Burrow the way that he did. And if we look at Joe Burrow's record as the Bengals quarterback, when he starts, they're 40-30-1 and average 25.3 points per game. Without Joe Burrow, they are 6-8 and average 19.9. So you're talking about essentially a touchdown difference per game, which is going to put more pressure on a defense that already had some question marks, which is going to take a team that would have contended for the Super Bowl and now leave it in a spot where they're going to fight to make the playoffs.
With Burrow out for the majority of the season, Bengals expected to turn to backup Jake Browning as their starting quarterback. ESPN analyst Mina Kimes.
I will try to offer a little bit of optimism. I know Jake Browning was pretty up and down yesterday, but in 2023, he was surprisingly good to me. Top 10 in QBR, and I thought that Zach Taylor and the staff did a good job of evolving their scheme to better suit him. He was under center. They were booting him out. RPOs were a big part of that offense. It looked competent. The other thing I'll note is the schedule is not that hard. If the goal is to just hold serve and try to play, say, 500 ball until Burrow gets back, the Vikings, Denver Broncos don't look as scary as feared. You've got the Bears, the Steelers, the Jets coming up. there are winnable games. The defense is going to have to play better, but this is definitely, I believe, one of the better backup quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yesterday needs to change the Bengals' organizational philosophy for the remainder of Joe Burrow's time. Honestly, it should impact all of the NFL because it feels like Joe Burrow is trending towards becoming this generation's Andrew Luck in a way. And the conversation around Andrew was all the hits. And through those first 5 or 6 seasons, look at them. The times the quarterback gets hit, look how much they're getting hit in relation to how often they're dropping back, how many sacks they're taking, and then the percent of pressure that they're dealing under. And the Bengals have to look at that and go, we haven't committed to doing that organizationally. We haven't. If I'm a team in the NFL, I'm paying attention to it and going, I am learning from that because I don't want my young player, my quarterback, to have that similar experience.
ESPN analyst Dan Orlovsky. As for keeping a positive mindset when you're injured again, Hall of Famer Troy Aikman.
Well, it's a hard thing to do, and any player that's missed time understands that. The train keeps moving, and this team certainly is going to go out next week and do the best that they can without Joe Burrow. But if you're Joe, and look, there's not a bigger fan of Joe Burrow's than myself, and I love to watch him play, love the way he competes, and obviously a great player. But for him to have gone through the injuries the way that he has as a fan, and then obviously for an organization, it's absolutely demoralizing. I do think Jake Browning's going to come in. When he came in a couple of years ago, he did a lot of good things. But we all know that if this team's going to achieve what they had hoped to do, that Joe Burrow was going to be at the helm. And it goes back to last year when they were unable to take advantage of a healthy Joe Burrow throughout the entire season and didn't even make it to the postseason. But he's too good of a player to not get to play as much time as what he will end up missing again this year.
Joe Burrow out a minimum of 3 months as he'll have toe surgery. Bengals aren't necessarily going to start selling off pieces. It's not off the table for Burrow to return for a postseason run as well. On the baseball diamond, team that's challenging for the division lead with an injury on Monday. That's next. SportsCenter All Night continues. It's ESPN Radio.
Today on ESPN Radio, 2 teams in the hunt for October go head-to-head.
Home run! Machado to straightaway center.
The San Diego Padres face the New York Mets. Coverage begins today at 6:30 Eastern, with first pitch at 7:15 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Coming up on the Tuesday edition of Unsportsmanlike with Evan Cohen, Chris Canty, and me, Michelle Smallman. Friend of the show, Adam Schefter, joins us at 8 a.m. Eastern to discuss all the fallout from the Joe Burrow injury and what's next for the Bengals. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
More SportsCenter All Night coming up next.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Grown-ups, don't go back to school. Go forward through school into your future as an IT professional. Whether you're starting out, switching careers, or a veteran ready for change, My Computer Career can help you get into IT in just a few short months with no prior experience. So take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Your rewarding career in IT awaits. That's mycomputercareer.edu. An Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the VA benefits.
With Robinhood, not only can you trade individual stocks and ETFs, you can also seamlessly buy and sell crypto.
at low costs. Trade all in one place. Get started now on Robinhood. Trading crypto involves significant risk. Crypto trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Crypto LLC. Robinhood Crypto is licensed to engage in virtual currency business activity by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Crypto held through Robinhood Crypto is not FDIC insured or SIPC protected. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Securities trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
Quick break. Got your fire safety game plan? When it comes to your home, every second matters. That's why we trust Kidde Smoke Alarms. They're built to respond fast and cut down on false alarms, so you can act with confidence when it counts. And now you can upgrade to over 25% faster smoke detection with Kidde's latest technology. It's more time to react and more peace of mind. That's why Kidde is North America's #1 home fire safety brand. So whether you're upgrading or installing for the first time, go with the alarms that deliver performance when it matters most. Kidde, help protect what matters the most. Find it at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. 29% faster average smoke detection based on internal testing of smoldering wood fires for Kidde 9th edition versus leading competitor 8th edition products based on total household installations as of December 2023.
I like things my way. My coffee, my schedule, and my treatment. So I talked to my doctor about self-injecting with the new Vyvgart Hytrulo pre-filled syringe, which contains Efgartigimod alpha and hyaluronidase QVFC. It's injected under your skin, subcutaneously. Now I can inject in my space on my time. It's my treatment, my way. Visit VyvgartMyWay.com. That's VYVGART myway.com. And talk to your doctor about Vyvgart Hytrulo. Brought to you by Argenix.
Listening to Sports Center all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Now, here's Jay Reynolds.
Thanks for making Sports Center all night part of your night. Sports Center all night is presented by Progressive Insurance. They offer auto, home, and commercial auto insurance, plus a variety of business insurance options. Visit Progressive.com today. Marquee matchup in baseball on Monday. Two of the three divisional leaders in the National League in L.A., Phillies, Dodgers. It was a good one. Philly couldn't hold leads of 1-0, 4-3, or this one.
The 1-2. Swing and a high fly ball deep right center field. That one's up the alley. On the run. Call. He won't get it. It's gone. And back and forth they go. And Bryce Harper with a big raise of the fist running around second base as he's given the Phillies a 5-4 lead.
Philly goes up another run again, 5-4. They take that lead to the bottom of the ninth, but
Pages turns on one, left field, and we are tied into the Dodger bullpen. The big dog in a big moment makes it 5-5.
AM 570 LA Sports, Philly out in front again when they get a sac fly in the top of the 10th. They hang on to that one.
2 balls, 2 strikes, bases loaded, 2 outs, the pitch. Swinging a bouncer to first. Harper gloves it, takes it himself, and the Phillies take the National League East Division crown. It's their second straight divisional crown as the Phillies come running out of the dugout and share hugs on the pitcher's mound at Dodgers Stadium, as the Phillies have clinched the National League East.
94 WIP, 6-5 in 10 innings, clinching the division for the second straight season. Phillies have won 7 of their last 8. They're a game and a half behind the Brewers for the number 1 seed in the National League. Bryce Harper with that home run, 6th career go-ahead homer in the 8th inning or later, his first since August of 2023. As for the Dodgers, their NL West lead over the Padres drops to 2 games. Baseball action coming up tonight as the Mets host the Padres. Coverage 6:30 Eastern time on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. In Arizona, Diamondbacks continuing their push for a postseason spot.
Line drive left center field. That's going to get down. That's going to go to the wall. McCarthy burning around third. He's in. Perdomo digging for third. Here's the throw. Not in time.
The most exciting play in baseball, the triple, and especially when you're driving runs in.
Perdomo, have yourself a night.
Arizona Sports 98-7. Diamondbacks an 8-1 win over the Giants. Arizona's third straight win. They trail the Mets by a game and a half for the final National League wild card spot. Mets Padres certainly in the spotlight in their series this week. Good news, bad news for the Astros. The good news is they beat the Rangers 6-3 on Monday. They're within a half game of the Mariners at the top of the American League West. But in the win,
now Alvarez is a bit shaken up as he's being tended to by the dugout rail. Joe Espada, Eric Velasquez, assistant athletic trainer over there, as Alvarez is hunched over.
Yeah, he slipped when he touched home plate, the rubber home plate, and he slid across the plate and did something to one of his extremities.
Yeah, just saw it on the big board. And so Alvarez, and he is limping as he walks very gingerly over toward the dugout steps.
Yordan Alvarez leaving the game after the second inning with a sprained left ankle, which he suffered crossing home plate in the 6-3 win. KBME 790 AM with the call. It's his 19th game since returning from the 60-day IL. Cubs blanking the Pirates on Monday.
Deep fly ball to right off the bat of Pete Crow-Armstrong. It's got a chance. Gone. Pete Crow-Armstrong had that double his last time up, and we were thinking maybe that will get him loosened up and get him back on track, and it sure seems to have had that effect. A long, towering drive out near right center, gone by plenty. That's his 29th of the year, and the Cubs lead 4-0.
4-0 would be the final. Cubs radio network with the call. Pete Crow-Armstrong with his 29th homer, also had his 35th stolen base, third Cubs hitter in franchise history to have 35 stolen bases and 25 homers in a single season. Ryan Sandberg, Sammy Sosa being the other two. Cubs with the 4-0 shutout, their 14th shutout this season, most in a single season since 18 shutouts in 2018. For the Pirates, 16th time this season they've been shut out, tied with the Rockies for the most in Major League Baseball. They were close. They stranded bases loaded in the ninth. Twins posting a shutout on Monday.
Swung on and hit. Fair ball deep into the left field corner. It's a track meet. Brooks Lee's going to score. Here comes Eddie Julian. Byron Buxton wheeling from first. They'll never get him. He scores standing. Bases clearing. 3-run double for Austin Martin. And the Minnesota Twins now lead it 6-0.
They would win it 7-0. Treasure Island Baseball Network. Austin Martin with a 4 RBI game. Entered the game with 2 RBI in 39 games this season. Had 4 of the 7 runs, which they scored on the Yankees on Monday. Twins, their largest shutout win against the Yankees since 1971. Reds an 11-6 win over the Cardinals to snap a 3-game losing streak. Cardinals have lost 6 of their last 7. Well, we've got a handful that have won their first 2 and double digits that have dropped their first 2. That's next. Sports Center all night, ESPN Radio.
The traditions, the rivalries, the drama.
Every week there was something magical.
This is the most wide open college football season we've had ever.
We don't have tomorrow, but next year, what we have now.
College football lives here. ESPN Radio.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
If you're a custodial supervisor at a local high school, you know that cleanliness is key. And that the best place to get cleaning supplies is from Grainger. Grainger helps you stay fully stocked on the products you trust. from paper towels and disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Plus, you can rely on Grainger for easy reordering, so you never run out of what you need. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hi, I'm Dorina, co-founder of OpenPhone. My dad is a business owner, and growing up, he always kept his ringtone super loud, so he'd never miss a customer call. OpenPhone gives your team business phone numbers to call and text, all in one shared workspace. And our AI agent answers 24/7, so you never miss a customer. Over 60,000 businesses use OpenPhone. Get 20% off at openphone.com/ESPN. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers.
You didn't start a business just to keep the lights on. You're here to sell more today than yesterday. You're here to win. Lucky for you, Shopify built the best converting checkout on the planet. Like the just one tapping, ridiculously fast acting, sky-high sales stacking, champion of checkouts. That's the good stuff right there. So if your business is in it to win it, win with Shopify. Start your free trial today at shopify.com/win.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/save.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Listening to SportsCenter all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Now, here's Jay Reynolds.
SportsCenter all night, taking you to 6 o'clock Eastern time. Evan, Canty, Michelle, unsportsmanlike each weekday morning, 6 to 10 Eastern here on ESPN Radio.
Half-hour headlines on SportsCenter all night.
Phillies beat the Dodgers in extra innings and clinch the NL East for a second straight season. Joe Burrow needs surgery on his toe, likely out until at least December. Buccaneers score in the closing seconds and beat the Texans in Houston on Monday night, while Jim Harbaugh's defense comes out on top of Pete Carroll's offense.
Gino, they rush 4. Pressure coming, takes a shot to the end zone. Popped up in the air, intercepted for the third time. A touchback.
I think Derwin tipped it.
Derwin definitely tipped it. And Dante Jackson comes down with it. Exactly what they needed. His 20th career interception.
Alt 98.7 Los Angeles as the Chargers beat the Raiders 20-9. Chargers 2-0. Second 2-0 start under Jim Harbaugh. Chargers are the third team since 1980 to win each of its first 2 games of a season against a division opponent away from their home stadium. Derwin James, as you heard, with the deflection on that key fourth quarter interception in the win.
Derwin, your defense comes up with 3 takeaways. You keep the Raiders out of the end zone. What impressed you most about Jarrell's performance tonight?
Everybody's just doing their job, taking the coaching. We had a great week of practice all week and just coming out here and putting it to life.
I know you love and respect Khalil Mack. What goes through your mind when he goes down?
We want to pick it up for him. He even told us, I said, dang, Matt, you out? He said, come on, DJ, keep going. So it's just, he just wanted us to go keep finishing the game. We love him so much, and we're going to have his back the rest of the way.
I know that it's early on, but 2 games in, you're atop the AFC West. What's pleased you most about the way your team started this season?
Just the focus. Everybody's been locked in. Like you said, we're 2-0 in the division. We played 2 division games. So we know this is not the end of the season. We're going to keep going, working our butt off, and get back to work. We got the Broncos coming up.
Chargers get the win. As you heard, Khalil Mack had a sack, but he left the game with an elbow injury on the final play of the first quarter. The defense, though, comes up with the 3 interceptions. They hold Las Vegas to 3 field goals over the course of the game. For Las Vegas, just their second home game without a touchdown since moving to Las Vegas in 2020. ESPN analyst Dan Orlovsky.
It's suffocating. You know, when we talked to Derwin James about this defense in reference to their defensive coordinator, Jesse Minter, he said it's the most prepared defense he's ever been on. the thing that it does to you as an offense, as a play caller, as a quarterback, it just constantly stresses your patience. And you get impatient throwing these little 3 or 4 yard checkdowns, and you try to fit a ball in there or try to fit a ball behind a defender. That's where you get some of those tips that become interceptions. And so it's a big-time defense. You can't run it against them that successfully. They choke you out in pass coverage, and you end up holding on to the football, and that's when some of those sacks by players like Henley or Derwin James come.
Geno Smith in the loss for the Raiders, tying a career high with those 3 interceptions, including one on the first play of the game. His coach, Pete Carroll.
He took a couple shots, he threw a couple bombs down there, and one of them was on about the 2, and the other one was in the end zone, I think, if that's right. Yeah, the reason that he got there, because we had time to hold the football, so we protected okay, and we didn't get the ball thrown underneath. That's what I wish we would have done. I wish we would have not taken those shots. They looked like we had to score quick or something. I don't feel like that when we play is the way that we should ever play. But so we got to take what's there, and we got to take a look at the film. I got to see why that happened like that. Just surprised. We haven't looked like that at all at any time. So that was the first time that came up.
Geno Smith 0 for 11 with 3 interceptions on passes thrown at least 10 yards downfield. Sports Center all night, ESPN Radio.
Second down and goal from 2 yards away. Rachaad White, the running back, in motion. Cade Otton tied into the left edge. Mayfield sends it back in motion. Hands the ball off. Rachaad White into the end zone. Is he in? Is he in? Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Buccaneers take the lead at 20-19.
With 6 seconds to go, and that would be the final score. It's the ball game. 98 Rock as the Bucs beat the Texans 20-19 in the early game on Monday Night Football. Tampa Bay trailed by 5 with 2 minutes to go. They win on Rachaad White's go-ahead 2-yard rushing touchdown with 6 seconds remaining. ESPN analyst Jason Kelce, Ryan Clark.
Baker Mayfield is just an absolute dog. We've seen him win games in the fourth quarter after being with the Rams for only 3 days. Fire zone blitz. They're going to drop one out. And now everybody's pushed up the field and they're locked up one-on-one. Baker Mayfield sees the large gap. He gets up the field, makes a huge play. And this is after already having a knee injury. This is just going to get it and make a play for your team when they need it most.
It was White that scored the touchdown. Bucky Irving, though, from start to finish, an impact player. What do you like most about what he gives them?
Well, he does everything. He can run it. He can run it from under center. He can do anything in the shotgun. He does screens. He had the huge play in the 2-minute drill down the stretch to get them within range to score a touchdown. He was all over the place today, and he's such a dynamic tool for this offense and a safety blanket for Baker Mayfield. He's turned into one of their biggest playmakers on this Bucs roster.
Yeah, we talk about Bucky Irving. You now talk about Bucky Irving. To me, the way you talk about Saquon, the way you talk about Derrick Henry, you put him in the Bijan Robinson sort of conversation with the way he can affect the game in the pass and also running.
In the loss for Houston, C.J. Stroud started the game 5 of 7 with 105 yards passing and a touchdown. That was in the first quarter. Over the final 3 quarters, 8 of 17, 102 yards passing. Texans lose. They've dropped their first 2. The message from C.J. Stroud to his team?
Yeah, just stay together. Stay committed to one another, trust in one another. The sun will rise in the morning. It's not the end of the world. But at the same time, we all get paid a service, to do a job. And, we got to get those jobs done at a faster rate. I think, as a team, we got to just stay together. Everybody's going to talk crazy, and we suck, we this, we that. And at the end of the day, we got to stay together and just mesh well and be honest, have hard conversations. But, I think right now we need more confidence as an offense, at least, just confident playing better together. I think that's a big thing. We haven't played together, a lot of us. So the more confidence that we build, I think the better that we'll be off.
With Houston losing to the Buccaneers, there are now 10 teams in the NFL at 0-2. Not all of the winless teams need to be in panic mode, but there are some whose blood pressure levels are a bit elevated. As for the team that should be most discouraged at this point, to the guys at PTI, Michael Wilbon, Tony Kornheiser.
So, Wilbon, here are our nominees. The Browns, who gave up 41 to Baltimore. The Jets, who were rolled by Buffalo. The Giants, who lost agonizingly to Dallas. The Dolphins, who can't seem to get anything right. And your Bears, who gave up a 52 spot to Detroit. Go.
The other teams.
Oh, it's the Bears?
Yeah. The other teams, nothing was expected of any of them. Don't tell them about the Jets. Miami, they had the coach being fired in August, and that's probably going to happen, which is too bad. No.
The Bears.
It's the Bears. And it's not about the lazy conversation is just about Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams didn't give up 52. No. Dennis Allen's defense, okay, paging Ron Rivera, some of us who wanted him anyway, Dennis Allen's defense gave up 52 to a team who couldn't score last week up north against the Packers.
Yeah,
so
13.
Caleb Williams was, again, so-so at best. And by the way, am I feeling like as strong about him as I was maybe coming into the season? Not so much. You wonder about some things, but I mean, to me, he should have time. We have no running game, okay? So the offensive coordinator, who was declared a genius, can't find a way to move the ball in ways he did in Detroit. So the defense stinks. The running game is absent. The offensive line is no better than before the acquisitions of an entirely new interior. Yeah. So what do the Bears have to be happy about today? And the answer is nothing.
Yeah, so I know you like to talk about in Detroit the brain drain, where Aaron Glenn became a head coach and Ben Johnson became your head coach. Apparently, you don't need to have brains to beat the Bears because they put 52 on them with the brain drain. I'm going to disagree with you in this regard. I think it's Miami. And I think people in Miami, and I have relatives in Miami, and they text and they go, what's going to happen? We
know what's going to happen.
You know, and I would say that at the moment, there are people that want to fire Mike McDaniel, right? Yeah. Now, here's an opportunity. On Thursday night, Miami plays Buffalo, Thursday night. So by Friday morning, you could get rid of that coach, and the new coach would have 10 days. The new coach would have 10 days to orient himself to the team, and the defense there is bad. The defense has allowed 66 points. That's the most in the AFC.
I root for him personally. He seems like a fine person in all his public representations, and they thought he was a good coach a couple of years ago, and now we got to camp started, and it was like, and we know who the hottest seat among the coaches is.
Must be.
Tony Kornheiser has family in South Florida. As we learned from Jimmy Buffett, everybody's got a cousin in Miami. Dolphins among the 10 teams winless through week 2. Earlier on ESPN Radio, Albert Breer from the MMQB.
They're in the middle of, sort of a soft rebuild. Teron Armstead retired. They traded Jalen Ramsey. They've moved now from the phase where they had 2 on the rookie contract into now he's on a big second contract. And so they're going to be gradually relying on more young players over the next couple of years. And when a franchise does that, the natural question for an owner to ask is, are these the people I want leading the rebuild? And so if things don't go well early this year, those questions will naturally come up.
Also at 0-2 through 2 weeks of the NFL season, the Chiefs earlier on the Dominique Foxworth Show.
I have to be honest with what I'm seeing. I'm willing to change my mind later in the season if I see something different, but they don't look good. Their defense was much better. I'll give them that. But it's also like the Eagles don't look as good as they once looked either. So I don't feel great about either team. Like up front, the Eagles offensive and defensive line aren't as dominant as they once were. And I thought Mahomes, obviously, if he's turning to the playoff scrambles, because we used to only see Mahomes scramble in the playoffs. If he's week 2, playoff scrambling and running people over, they're in trouble.
No one's scared of anybody over there. Listen, 15 is all-time great. Andy Reid is all-time great. But if I'm an opposing defense and I'm game planning, who scares you? Who scares you over there? Travis Kelce doesn't scare me. No one over there scares you. And and Rex, knows this as a defensive coordinator, when you don't have to game plan specific guys, boy, you can unleash hell on the opposing quarterback.
ESPN analyst Damian Woody, Kansas City, dropping the first 2 of the season. SportsCenter all night, ESPN Radio, quarterback news Monday as well, and that's not great for some teams. J.J. McCarthy will miss a couple of weeks, maybe upwards of a month. High ankle sprain. ESPN insider Adam Schefter.
Here's the timeline on J.J. McCarthy. It's a 2 to 4 week injury. It's a high ankle sprain. So he's not going to be playing this week against the Cincinnati Bengals, and the overwhelming chances are he's not going to be playing next week either after the Vikings go overseas. The question will be how and when he can get back in that 2 to 4 week range, but he's dealing with a high ankle sprain right now. The test determined today, and that's a tough break for a player who was coming back from the torn meniscus last year and now will have his delay and his growth halted and delayed while he recovers from this high ankle sprain.
Carson Wentz, signed by the Vikings late August, expected to start Sunday's game against the Bengals. Segue. Cincinnati's without Joe Burrow. He will undergo toe surgery. He'll be out a minimum of 3 months. Reaction Monday across the board here on ESPN Radio.
Sports Center all night.
Can we hear it again?
Sports Center all night. Rewind.
That's perfect. Play it again.
Unsportsmanlike.
I am so bummed out to hear this news. Joe Burrow is one of the most exciting players to watch in the NFL. You never want any player to deal with injuries, but it just feels like it's one thing after another for him and the Cincinnati Bengals. In a season where they finally got off to a hot start, something that has plagued them for so long in the Joe Burrow, Zach Taylor era. They get off to a 2-0 start, and now you lose your quarterback for a minimum of 3 months. It just feels like it's never ending with Joe Burrow. It's the ACL, it's the MCL, it's the pinky, it's the calf, it's the wrist, now it's the toe. I just really pray that he's not one of those guys that we never get to see reach his full potential because of injuries.
The organization told us it was Super Bowl or bust before the season with the contracts that they doled out. Now that it's going to be the latter and not the former, what do we have that other people want that we can trade away? So we can be as bad as we possibly can and get as high a draft pick as we possibly can.
So you're waving the white flag?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The Bengals now, even though they're 2-0, have to think of themselves in the same conversation as potentially Miami and New Orleans. We're competing for the number one pick. They're competing for different reasons. Some are looking for quarterbacks. They're not. Go out there and do what you said. Let Browning play. Hope he turns himself into somebody where you could say, we'll trade him after the season. But Trey Hendrickson and T. Higgins should not finish the season as members of the Cincinnati Bengals.
Clinton and friends.
You could say he's injury prone at this point. I think that would be fair. But I also think that for a fan base like Cincinnati's, who's had so many ups and downs, I mean, this is the kind of blow that really affects morale on a large level.
This is the Rich Eisen Show.
We saw Jake Browning a couple of years ago be the darling of fantasy football. I think Jake Browning won some people fantasy football leagues a couple of years ago. And I know this is reality football. And I know that he threw 3 interceptions coming off the bench. But I think we can give the guy a little bit of a break because I don't think he saw any of this coming, nor did I, nor did obviously Burrow, leaving the game in the second quarter. I think Jake Browning can win just enough games for this team to be not only above water, but a threat on offense. And we're going to be talking about, is this defense going to be doing just enough for Jake Browning?
This is Freddie and Harry.
It's Joe Burrow's job as a player to play the game. It's the front office job as a front office executive or executives to put the best players out there on the football field, and especially when you have a quarterback like Joe Burrow, to protect him. So yes, I'm pointing to the Cincinnati Bengals and their front office to this malpractice when it comes to Joe Burrow, and one of the main reasons he is consistently hurt every single year.
This is Amber and Ian.
Joe Montana did not have a strong arm, but my God, was he accurate. Now, I'm not saying Jake Browning is that guy by any stretch, but Joe Montana did not have the strongest arm. Jake Browning coming out of Washington does not have the strongest arm. But go back to 23, he looked good. And at times, yesterday, he looked good. My point is, can he keep Cincinnati afloat to be a 9-win type team? Maybe. I don't know. I thought they were a 10-11 win type team with Joe Burrow. With Jake Browning, I think they're more of an 8-win type team. But right now, they're 2-0, and 2-0, you got to put a little respect on it.
Sports Center all night, rewind.
Bengals winning their first 2, but losing their quarterback until Christmas time. Sorry for snapping. That's next. Sports Center all night. It's ESPN Radio.
ESPN Radio, home of the World Series.
The Dodgers are World Series champions.
The NBA Finals.
The Oklahoma City Thunder 2025 NBA champion.
And the College Football National Championship.
Ohio State has won the national championship.
This is ESPN Radio. More Sports Center all night. Coming up next.
I like things my way. My coffee, my schedule, and my treatment. So I talked to my doctor about self-injecting with the new Vyvgart Hytrulo prefilled syringe, which contains F-gartigimod alpha and hyaluronidase QVFC. It's injected under your skin, subcutaneously. Now I can inject in my space on my time. It's my treatment, my way. Visit VyvgartMyWay.com. That's VYVGART myway.com. And talk to your doctor about Vyvgart Hytrulo, brought to you by Argenix.
If you're a custodial supervisor at a local high school, you know that cleanliness is key. And that the best place to get cleaning supplies is from Grainger. Grainger helps you stay fully stocked on the products you trust, from paper towels and disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Plus, you can rely on Grainger for easy reordering, so you never run out of what you need. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hi, I'm Dorina, co-founder of OpenPhone. My dad is a business owner, and growing up, he always kept his ringtone super loud, so he'd never miss a customer call. OpenPhone gives your team business phone numbers to call and text, all in one shared workspace. And our AI agent answers 24/7, so you never miss a customer. Over 60,000 businesses use OpenPhone. Get 20% off at openphone.com/ESPN. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers.
You didn't start a business just to keep the lights on. You're here to sell more today than yesterday. You're here to win. Lucky for you, Shopify built the best converting checkout on the planet. Like the just one tapping, ridiculously fast acting, sky-high sales stacking, champion of checkouts. That's the good stuff right there. So if your business is in it to win it, win with Shopify. Start your free trial today at shopify.com/win.
With Robinhood, not only can you trade individual stocks and ETFs, you can also seamlessly buy and sell crypto at low costs. Trade all in one place. Get started now on Robinhood. Trading crypto involves significant risk. Crypto trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Crypto LLC. Robinhood Crypto is licensed to engage in virtual currency business activity by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Crypto held through Robinhood Crypto is not FDIC insured or SIPC protected. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Securities trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
This is Joe Budden. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. So I'm here to make sure you don't miss any of the daily fantasy action this football season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right.
Download the Prize Picks app today and use code OT to get $50 in site credits after you play your first $5. That's code OT to get $50 in site credits after you play your first $5. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
You're listening to SportsCenter all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Now, here's Jay Reynolds.
SportsCenter all night presented by Progressive. Guests are on the Dr. Pepper call-in line.
SportsCenter all night.
Oh, my goodness. Check it out on SportsCenter tonight.
Today's top sound.
How good is that? Are you entertained?
Number 5.
Good news, bad news for Houston fans Monday night. Texans drop to 0-2, but on the diamond, the Astros keep the pressure on the Mariners atop the division. KBME 790 AM.
1-2. And Cole hammers it deep to right. Garcia is back at the wall. Looking up. See you later! Zach Cole, his second big league homer, is a go-ahead 2-run shot. 4-3 Astros.
Number 4.
Houston wins on the diamond. They were this close to a Monday Night Football win as well, but Tampa Bay would spoil that. 98 Rock.
Second down and goal from 2 yards away. Rachaad White, the running back, in motion. Cade Otton tied into the left edge. Mayfield sends it back in motion. Hands the ball off. Rachaad White into the end zone. Is he in? Is he in? Touchdown Tampa Bay. Touchdown Tampa Bay. Buccaneers take the lead at 20-19.
Number 3.
In Las Vegas, lightning would strike for the Chargers late in the first half of their win over the Raiders. Alt 98.7 Los Angeles.
Showing blitz. And they run 4. Herbert has all day in the pocket. Takes a shot downfield. 2 wide open. Caught. Quentin Johnston. Touchdown. Chargers. 60-yard touchdown. Herbert to Q.
Number 2.
Sportsnet 590 The Fan in Toronto. The Blue Jays go 11 for their 10th extra inning win of the season.
0-2 pitch.
Line shot, left field, base hit, down on the shallow left grass. Around third and in to score Ernie Clement. And George Springer delivers Dodgers to give the Blue Jays their first lead of the night. An RBI single makes it 2-1 Blue Jays in the 11th.
Number 1.
Braves put up double digits on the Nationals, and in the process, it's 3 straight games going yard for Matt Olson.
1-0 to Olson, and he rattles one deep down the right field line and out of the ballpark. He just boomed one into the second deck above the Nationals bullpen, and Matt Olson has been swinging a stick of dynamite in the second half of the season. A 3-run home run, and he rounds the sacks for the 26th time this year. What a display.
680 The Fan. Braves scoring double-digit runs for the 12th time this season. 8 of those 12 have come since the All-Star break. They won't see the postseason. In fact, the Phillies slammed the door on the division Monday.
2 balls, 2 strikes, bases loaded, 2 outs, the pitch. Swinging a bouncer to first. Harper gloves it, takes it himself, and the Phillies take the National League East Division crown.
They do it for the second straight season. 94 WIP, 6-5 10-inning win in L.A. over the Dodgers. Orioles a 4-1 win over the White Sox. Sports Center all night, ESPN Radio, presented by Dr. Pepper. It's not college football season without the delicious taste of an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. College football, it's a Pepper thing.
Texas A&M comes to South Bend and shocks the Irish.
You are 0-2, so what do you control? You control getting better and getting ready for the next one.
They played for a national championship a season ago, 0-2 this season. Can they still entertain playoff aspirations? ESPN's Heather Dinich.
Well, they're hanging by a thread, and that's being pretty kind. I mean, ESPN's All-State Playoff Predictor gives Notre Dame a 5.9% chance to reach the CFP right now, and this is where not having a conference hurts them, because even a 3-loss Clemson last year made the college football playoff because it won the ACC.
Uphill battle for Notre Dame from this point on. Saturday, LSU got a win, 20-10 over Florida. 1 touchdown for the Tigers, and after the game, Coach Brian Kelly was asked about the offensive struggles, and he snapped. Monday on the Paul Feinbaum Show, he apologized.
Yeah, and I guess that's the whole point, Paul. It's a mindset, right? You've just played an emotional game. You're coming in to questions, and the first one that you're dealing with is, what's wrong with your offensive line? And so, look, I needed to do a better job of handling that question. That's on me. I've got to be better moving forward. Michael Cobble is an outstanding reporter. I apologize to him. But the mindset has got to be more about, where are we right now? We just beat an SEC opponent in an emotional game and had 5 interceptions and one of our best defensive performances. So I just think it's a little bit of everybody, right? And it starts with me. I've got to be better, as I said. But I think we all have to understand what the mindset needs to be in a post-game press conference.
LSU ranks last in the SEC, 20 points per game. It's Tuesday, September 16th. Tim Raines celebrating a birthday today. The Hall of Famer, 66. Wins for the Bucks and Chargers last night. Reaction this morning on Unsportsmanlike. They're next. I'm Jay Reynolds, back tomorrow with Sports Center all night. It's ESPN Radio.
On the Tuesday edition of Unsportsmanlike with Chris Canty, Michelle Smallman, and me, Evan Cohen. The Tampa Bay Bucks go into Houston and get the win. Is it time for us to consider the Bucks as a serious contender in the NFC? It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text STREAK to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text STREAK to 42424. That's STREAK to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Quick break. Got your fire safety game plan? When it comes to your home, every second matters. That's why we trust Kidde Smoke Alarms. They're built to respond fast and cut down on false alarms, so you can act with confidence when it counts. And now you can upgrade to over 25% faster smoke detection with Kidde's latest technology. It's more time to react and more peace of mind. That's why Kidde is North America's #1 home fire safety brand. So whether you're upgrading or installing for the first time, go with the alarms that deliver performance when it matters most. Kidde, help protect what matters the most. Find it at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. 29% faster average smoke detection based on internal testing of smoldering wood fires for Kidde 9th edition versus leading competitor 8th edition products based on total household installations as of December 2023.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/save.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlogged projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
You ever wake up with a sore throat, feeling a little off, and you know you're getting sick? Well, getting sick and going on the IL isn't an option, especially for me when I'm traveling for work. You can try to see a doctor, well, good luck there, or go sit for hours in an urgent care. Nope. That's why you need a medical emergency kit. This isn't some cheap first aid kit, okay? Your medical emergency kit comes packed with doctor-prescribed meds. It's like having an urgent care and a pharmacy right there in your home. If you're coming down with the flu, bam, here's your Z-Pack. You've got gastrointestinal issues, here's your Bactrim. From Z-Pack to ivermectin, amoxicillin, and doxycycline to treat strep, pneumonia, sinus infections, UTIs, COVID, and more. It's all right there in your kit. Just match your symptoms to the guide or talk with their telehealth doc. No doctor waiting rooms, no pharmacy lines. Order online in minutes and get $50 off with the code SMALLS at urgentcarekit.com/SMALLS. Get yours now at urgentcarekit.com/SMALLS. Use the promo code SMALLS.
Where?
Unsportsmanlike with Evan Canty and Michelle.
They're down to 0-0-0. Tampa Bay Buccaneers 20. Houston Texans 19. And the Bucs have come from behind to improve to 2-0.
We'll take the wins for sure, but there's a lot of stuff we can clean up. I think we'll all look at the tape and say we can correct a lot and not make it this difficult on ourselves, but we'll take wins when we're having to scratch a claw, though.
Resiliency and the times we practice it over and over and over. We have some good battles in practice, and they know what to do by what coverage and what to see and how they're going to react to it, and everybody's bought in.
To the show, we are Unsportsmanlike here on ESPN Radio. ESPN2, we are presented by Progressive Insurance. 98 Rock with the call. Tampa Bay Bucks in the first game of the doubleheader beating the Texans last night. 20-19. Right there in Tampa.
St. Louis, let's go.
Yeah, I'm going to need a little more bop, a little more bounce from you with the Chingy coming in.
You know I love Chingy.
I know you do.
Thank you for playing Chingy in the Open. That set the mood right for a Tuesday. Coming off a Monday Night Football doubleheader?
I know. I hear the words coming out of your mouth, but the body language is giving me something different.
You're right. I was not vibing to Chingy in the way that I should be.
There was no bop. I'm a little disappointed. We're supposed to attack Tuesday with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind.
I'm ready to go.
All right.
Well, I'm definitely ready to go today.
All right.
Seth freaking Rollins is going to be here today. It is basically WWE week here on Unsportsmanlike because we have WrestlePalooza coming to the ESPN app and all of our ESPN family of apps there within there, which is amazing. On Saturday night, Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indy, 7 p.m. Eastern time. So what do we have this week? No big deal. Seth freaking Rollins today. Michael Cole tomorrow, the voice of the WWE. and the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, on Thursday. Oh, baby, am I excited. Be a part of Unsportsmanlike Nation on the Dr. Pepper call-in line. Call us at 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. ESPN Nation, presented by Dr. Pepper. It's not college football season without the delicious taste of an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. College football, it's a pepper thing. Shh, don't tell anybody. The Bucs are really good yet again. 5th straight year. They start 2-0 on the season. They win last night. Baker Mayfield with a big last-second drive to win this game. 11 plays, 80 yards, 2:04 off the clock, down 19-14 to Houston. And what does Baker do? He drives down and he wins this game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Are they legit contenders in the NFC, guys?
I think they're the best of the next tier, or at least in the conversation after we talk about teams like the Philadelphia Eagles, the Green Bay Packers, and the LA Rams. I think the Bucs are that next tier of teams that could be contending. They need a lot of things to break right for them, including health. And after last night's game, that has to be my chief concern about them moving forward. Mm-hmm. Are they going to be able to overcome the rash of injuries that they're dealing with? Tristan Wirfs was out last night. They lost Luke Goedeke early on in that game. Kalijah Kancey went out with a pec injury. Rashad White got banged up after he tried to recover a Baker Mayfield fumble late in that game. They just had so many things working against them in the way of injury luck. I think Emeka Egbuka got banged up a little bit in last night's game. So to me, when we start trying to project what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be, we have to bake in the qualifier of whether or not we think this team is going to be healthy when the games matter the most, which is late in the season. Because right now, they're not off to the best start in that department. But as far as Baker Mayfield goes, last night he was absolutely phenomenal. And even though the numbers won't wow you if you watched the game, the playmaking ability from Baker Mayfield is what stands out. That 4th and 10 backed up on their own 32-yard line with the game on the line. They send a 6-man pressure at him, and this dude makes the middle linebacker, Henry To'o miss when he's got him dead to rights, unblocked. You don't expect that from a quarterback, and you certainly don't expect that from somebody that is where Baker Mayfield is when it comes to the athletic spectrum. But he made the play, and he did that routinely last night. When they had to have it, when it mattered, he stepped up. And I think that people have to acknowledge that even though it doesn't look like some of these other quarterbacks, when it comes to playmaking, Baker Mayfield is one of the very best in the NFL.
If all that's true, which it is, then why not them? Why not the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? I know that health is a concern, certainly. We have that to contend with. But the Tampa Bay Bucs have been the kings of the NFC South for quite some time now. We're saying that Baker Mayfield can step up in the biggest of moments and be the reason why his team leads to victory. They're a team that's been playoff tested. They have a lot working in their favor. Now, when it comes to week 2, I think a lot of us, when we watch these games, are like, are the Bucs that good? Are they Super Bowl contenders? Or do we need to have some conversations about the Houston Texans? And a lot of these games, that's where we're at right now, so early in the season, discerning, are these people actually Super Bowl contenders, or are these teams worse than maybe we gave them credit for?
It almost feels like we're on a fact-finding mission early on in the season, doesn't it?
We're trying to figure it out. Who are these teams? You know, we do that with any matchup. But I think this one specifically with the Houston Texans, it's like, are they better than 0-2, or are they an actual 0-2 team?
You know, you just gave 4 NFC teams, and they each play in different divisions. Are you saying that divisions are over 2 games in?
No.
You just rattled off the 4 teams. They happen to ironically play in different divisions.
No.
Which division is not over?
NFC North.
Okay. Yeah, no.
Yeah, Lions going to have something to say about that.
I agree.
It's just interesting, and obviously that's a drastic question after 2 weeks, but who's picking against the Eagles to win the NFC East? No one.
Especially with the Jaden Daniels injury.
Correct. The Green Bay Packers are playing better football in the moment than any other team in the NFC or maybe the NFL, just playing better football currently. The Tampa Bay Bucs win the division every year, even though the Falcons did look good on Sunday night.
Yeah, they did.
But they already lost to the Tampa Bay Bucs. And while I like the Niners, most don't like them as much as I do. And the Rams just find ways to win even when they don't play well.
Well, the reason why you can't say that about the Rams is because you never know how Matthew Stafford's back is going to go.
Sure. And Arizona, yes, they're 2-0 also.
Yeah, they got 3 2-0 teams in that division.
Mm-hmm.
So.
It is interesting to think that the top let's put it this way. The 4 teams I just mentioned, if they won the divisions after this season, no one would be surprised. Right? Those 4 teams, you said that's the top of the NFC as you see it. Not one person out there would be surprised if I told you right now the regular season is over. Philly, Green Bay, Tampa, and the Rams won the division. No one would be surprised by that.
But that's what most people thought heading into the season, with the exception of the NFC North, which a lot of people had in flux because you didn't know if the Lions were going to be as strong as they were without both of their coordinators. A lot of people thought maybe the Bears would take a step up. The Vikings won 14 games last year. I think a lot of people had different teams coming out of the North, but that's pretty much chalk. Most people thought the Eagles would win the NFC East. Most people defer to the Bucs in the NFC South. And most people thought the Rams, who were strong last year and played the best against the Eagles in the playoffs, would win the West.
Yep, and it's playing out that way so far, and it's 2 games. Obviously, you don't want to go too crazy. The flip side is the Houston Texans had a 19-14 lead. They blew the lead. They came back to get to 19-14. They scored 19 points total. And C.J. Stroud, 13 of 24. Not a ton of completions, 207 and a touchdown. How did you see what the third-year quarterback did last night, guys?
Well, I mean, CJ and that Texans offense leaves a lot to be desired. I thought that early on, the drive that he was able to put together to set the tone was a really good one, capped with that dime that he threw to Nico Collins. They had the replay review, and obviously Nico was in. That was a phenomenal play, phenomenal drive. But when you have 3 shots at goal to go from the opponent's 1-yard line, and you can't run the ball in, that's a problem. To me, one of the biggest differences in the game, one of the biggest differences that we got in the quarterback play was that one guy was able to lean on the running game and one guy did not have a running game. Forget about the late touchdown by Nick Chubb. That was an outlier. The Houston Texans could not run the football at all. And so when it comes to those scenarios, red zone, goal to go, you got to be able to cash in. Last night, the Houston Texans were 0 in the red zone, 0 in goal to go. You can't win like that.
And where does that lie? Is that line? Is that quarterback? Is that right? I mean, I know.
Yes.
I know.
Yes.
But, okay.
The answer is yes.
So
all of it.
Right. So let me do it this way. We care about the quarterback and the coach most. We always talk about quarterback and coach. Tell me about the quarterback. He was the best rookie we ever seen until we saw a rookie that was better the next year. We talked about would he have a sophomore slump in his second year. He was good, and they won to the playoffs, and they won a game, obviously, in the postseason. Where are you guys at with C.J. Stroud right now, who was so hyped, deservedly so, and now feels like we don't talk about as much?
Listen, after a block punt, you didn't gain a yard on that possession. Your defense, your special teams, they blocked the punt, gave you the ball in plus territory. You didn't gain 1 yard. And C.J. Stroud almost threw a pick to Levante David, which would have ended the game. Like, you can't do things like that. So C.J. absolutely has to be better. I thought he took some sacks that he had no business taking last night. I certainly don't want to lay all of the blame for last night's loss on him. But even though it's not all his fault, it still is all his problem. And when we start talking about C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans and what their ceiling is going to be for 2025 and moving forward, we have to contextualize it, and we have to consider how far are the Houston Texans away from the perennial powers in the AFC, like the Buffalo Bills, like the Baltimore Ravens, like the Kansas City Chiefs. Just how close are the Houston Texans to those teams? Because ultimately, you're going to have to get through those teams in order to get to where you want to go. And if C.J. Stroud can't elevate the play of those around him where they can win in closely contested games like last night, where they can win in playoff games against the Baltimore Ravens or against the Kansas City Chiefs, then that's going to be a problem, right? C.J. Stroud, first 2 years, outstanding. He checked all the boxes. But we all operated under the assumption that his trajectory would stay at that same arc, that his success would be linear. And it feels like he's plateaued. And I don't know how the Texans as an organization get him past this point, but it's clear that if he doesn't improve, then the Houston Texans are going to be in a dogfight to not only compete and try to win their division, but to get back to the postseason. So, again, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that the sky is falling with the Houston Texans because there's a lot to like. I thought their defense and their specials were good last night. But, man, your quarterback has got to be better in those games. He's just got to be. Now, Doesn't help that you didn't have a running game. Doesn't help that Dare Agumbawale blew the protection on the 2-point conversion. Didn't give him a chance on that play to even get a pass off. They had to take a sack. That doesn't help. But C.J. Stroud has got to find ways to play make at a higher level, similar to what we saw from the quarterback on the other sideline last night in Baker Mayfield.
What'd you say? It's not his fault, but it's certainly his problem. That's a bar. I like that. You're right. The defense, even though they couldn't stop the run last night, did enough to win the game. Special teams did their job as well, and you expect more out of C.J. Stroud. And I think the difference for me so far this year is that, yeah, inaccuracy is an issue, but he doesn't look as confident. He doesn't look as sure in himself when it comes to his decision making. You expect C.J. Stroud to control the game, and we haven't really seen that from him so far. And if you're the Houston Texans, you need to get him back there.
Well, they obviously were not satisfied with their offense at the end of last season. They changed offensive coordinators to obviously try to help them get better. And so far, and I'm not blaming Nick Caley, their new offensive coordinator, I'm just pointing out that they have 28 points through 2 games with C.J. Stroud as your quarterback. That's never going to be enough with somebody that level.
But they got 2 of their top 3 receivers that are hurt right now, and Christian Kirk and Tank Dell. Mm-hmm. So, like, those guys are out of the lineup. Joe Mixon's out of the lineup. So they got a lot of injuries working against them in this situation, too. And I'm not, again, injuries can't be used as an excuse because everybody's got to deal with injuries. Baker Mayfield dealt with injuries last night, right? Mm-hmm. So injuries are just a part of the game. But it's in those moments where your quarterback has got to make everybody else around him better. Mike Tannenbaum calls it being a force multiplier. We have yet to see that from C.J. Stroud this season. He's got to be better in that. Baker Mayfield last night was a force multiplier. Baker Mayfield last night was the better quarterback. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just what it is. So I think we do have to have a difficult conversation around C.J. Stroud and whether or not he can get good enough for the Houston Texans to take advantage of the situation that they have right now with him on a rookie contract.
That was game 1 of the Monday night doubleheader last night. Game 2, you have to wonder whether or not we have a Super Bowl contender in the AFC West that doesn't play in Kansas City. We will get to that after I tell everybody about ZipRecruiter. What if a quarterback completed 4 out of 5 of his passes, like Baker Mayfield did on that final drive last night? Or a point guard hit 4 of 5 shots from behind the arc? Those are pretty good percentages, right? Well, now, when you're hiring, you can play at that level. Because 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter's technology hustles to find skilled people for your job, and you can invite them to apply and get your top picks ready to go to apply at ZipRecruiter. Try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/USL. That's ZipRecruiter.com/USL.
Today on ESPN Radio, 2 teams in the hunt for October go head-to-head.
Home run! Machado to straightaway center.
The San Diego Padres face the New York Mets. Coverage begins today at 6:30 Eastern with first pitch at 7:15 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
The following is a paid advertisement for the Wellness Company.
Hey there, it's Michelle Smallman from Unsportsmanlike. I'm thrilled to be joined by Dr. Drew from the Wellness Company. And Dr. Drew, you have something very exciting to talk about today, the medical emergency kit. Tell us a little bit about this.
It is exciting. Look, I have been fighting to try to protect the patient-physician relationship my entire career, and we have lost. I finally decided I need to be involved with people that put the power back in the patient directly. These emergency kits give you everything you need so you don't have to spend $1,200 going to an emergency room. And we have a significant medical team, the medical board at TWC, and we just sat down and put together what we would want for our family, for our patients.
Oh my gosh, so anything that anyone could need is in this
and there's a guidebook here to tell you exactly how to use it, and again, telehealth backup.
It's remarkable. It's innovative. Everyone needs to get one. UrgentCareKit.com/sports, promo code sports to get $50 off your kit. That's UrgentCareKit.com/sports, promo code sports.
Prescription required. Always consult your doctor to determine if this product is right for you.
With Robinhood, not only can you trade individual stocks and ETFs, you can also seamlessly buy and sell crypto at low costs. Trade all in one place. Get started now on Robinhood. Trading crypto involves significant risk. Crypto trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Crypto LLC. Robinhood Crypto is licensed to engage in virtual currency business activity by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Crypto held through Robinhood Crypto is not FDIC insured or SIPC protected. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Securities trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
What would
would you do if your online store converted 36% more shoppers? You could take 36% more vacation.
Another pina colada?
Yes, please. Open a new retail location with 36% more square feet.
Fantastic.
Hire 36% more help.
You're hired and you're hired.
Shopify has the world's best converting checkout, up to 36% better than other e-commerce platforms. What you do with those extra sales is up to you. Switch to Shopify today at shopify.com/streaming and get a $1 trial. Shopify.com/streaming.
Quick break. Tailgates are won before the food even hits the grill. That's why you need to go with Kingsford Original Charcoal. It lights fast, burns long, and brings that bold, smoky flavor every time. Since 1920, Kingsford's been the gold standard of grilling. If you're grilling for a crowd, it's the guaranteed way to get the W. Kingsford, the king of the tailgate. Get it today at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Compared to nationally available conventional charcoal in the USA.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Herbert takes the snap, takes the knee, and that's it. Chargers win 20-9, improved to 2-0.
Everybody's been locked in, 2-0 in the division. We know this is not the end of the season. We're going to keep going, working our butt off, and get back to work. We got the Broncos coming up.
Chargers Radio Network. The second Monday Night Football game last night as LA beats Vegas 20-9. We are unsportsmanlike here on ESPN Radio. ESPN2, we are presented by Progressive Insurance. Today, 12:20 p.m. Eastern Time on The Rich Eisen Show here on ESPN Radio. The quarterback of the Green Bay Packers, Jordan Love, will join Rich Eisen today, 12:20 p.m. Eastern Time. Can't wait for that.
Let's go.
12:20 p.m. Eastern. Jordan Love, Rich Eisen. That's going to be a hell of a conversation today. I think he has Adam Devine on also, comedian and actor, of course, famous for Pitch Perfect, which I love, of course. So busy day for Rich today, busy day for us. Seth freaking Rollins is here later today, which is awesome. So last night, the Chargers beat the Raiders 20-9. Justin Herbert, 19 of 27, 242, 2 touchdowns, 9 carries, 31 yards. Just the kind of game that the Chargers want, right? They want it to be ugly. They want to turn the ball over, which they did 3 times. Geno Smith interceptions. It's weird. We have dove into, I think that's the right way of saying it, on our show, how some teams, the way that they look, literally their uniforms, indicate a style of play, and how the Chargers wearing that Carolina blue and yellow should not indicate old school NFC East style football that CeCe and I grew up on here in New York. But that's what they are. They're nasty, they're ugly, and they want to beat you up. Now, they didn't do it as much last night in terms of the running game. It wasn't pretty.
Yeah, they can't run the ball. Right,
which is the weirdest thing.
They can't run the ball.
That's what they want to do.
Yeah.
But I don't know why they can't do it. That's the thing that I don't. And they have good running backs. Doesn't matter. 20-9. Chargers beat the Raiders. How are we feeling about the Chargers right now?
Well, how can you not feel pretty good about them? They not only start the season 2-0, but you did it both against division opponents, both on the road. That's very impressive to do, especially since the first game was in Brazil against the Kansas City Chiefs, the team who's been atop of the division for so long. You go to Brazil, you beat them, then you go on the road again and you handle you handle the Raiders, and you look pretty sound doing it. And you're right. Maybe because of the lightning bolt, you expect it to be some big, high-flying offensive attack, but this is a Jim Harbaugh football team. And for so many years, we've been wondering, when is another team going to jump up and take the spot of the Kansas City Chiefs in that division, or at least some people have been forecasting it. Maybe this is the year that the Chargers can actually do it. Maybe this is the year that the Chargers, now 2 games in the division, could get it done and be the kings of the AFC West.
Yeah, it's kind of messed up that Brazil games actually counts as a Chargers home game.
Yeah.
That's kind of beat up, man. But anyway, it was still on the road
game.
It's still a road game, but I hate that it counts as that, because they still got to go to Kansas City later on in the season.
Right, which is never easy.
That's the part that sucks. But yeah, how could you not feel good about the start that the Chargers have gotten out to? It hasn't been perfect, but Justin Herbert has been steady, and he's avoided making the consequential mistake, and he's been able to, by and large, dictate the complexion of games. And that is growth as far as I'm concerned. I think back to how ugly that playoff loss was with the Houston Texans, and how, from a play style standpoint, Justin Herbert looks dramatically different. You're starting to see him utilize his legs, not just to the extent of down and to hit big shots in the passing game, but actually using his legs to run the football. That's not something that we're accustomed to seeing from Justin Herbert, yet it's something that showed up time and time again in the early going. He had 2 first downs rushing last night. He ended the Kansas City Chiefs game converting on a 3rd and 14 with a 19-yard scramble. So Justin Herbert feels like he's starting to round the corner. Now, he got away with one last night with about 8.5 left to go in the game. He almost threw a pick to Cam Pratt that would have set the Las Vegas Raiders up to be able to cut into that double-digit lead that the Chargers had. But again, he didn't make any mistakes last night. He let the other quarterback make all of the mistakes, and the Chargers took full advantage of it. So kudos to Justin Herbert. It feels like this season could be a Josh Allen-like renaissance for Justin Herbert. What we saw from Josh Allen last year in terms of cutting out the turnovers, the errant plays, MVP? The mistakes.
You willing to go there?
It feels like Justin Herbert is in line for one of those types of seasons. Now, I'm not going to say he's going to be the MVP because I'm not sure that Jim Harbaugh wants his quarterback to put up those gaudy statistics. But what I will say is that he's going to win a lot of football games by playing the way that he's playing, which is not making any mistakes, taking advantage of what the defense gives him, and then when the time comes, being able to ad-lib like he did in the first half on that second reaction touchdown throw that he had to Keenan Allen in the back of the end zone. Those are the types of things that you're looking for. He still got the big ball in his bag. You saw the 60-yard bomb that he threw to Quentin Johnston. That's still there. But what's more impressive to me is that Justin Herbert methodically moves the change for the Chargers. They control time of possession. They're one of 2 teams that has yet to trail this season. If he can continue to play like this, then this Chargers team can win the division. And I said this yesterday, and I thought back about it, and I instantly regret saying this because I do think it's possible. I said that nobody is going to take the AFC West and run away and hide. It's on the board for the Chargers to do that. They got the Denver Broncos week 3 at home in L.A. If they win that game, they can put a chokehold on this division early.
They would be 3-0 with 3 wins against the other 3 teams in that division.
Yeah. And 2 of them on the road.
So what's interesting about that is what you just said about the Chargers. My words, not yours. Justin Herbert could be a top 5 MVP candidate if he plays the way that you just suggested, okay? And that the Chargers theoretically, hypothetically, could be the one team that maybe runs away with the AFC West. Those 2 things combined, could you envision them being legit Super Bowl contenders? Because if you play those 2 things out, that would, if I told you blindly in the middle of July, hey, a team's going to run away with their division and their quarterback could be hypothetically, because of his lack of turnovers and his smart play, a top 5 MVP candidate, and they're a defensive team.
With a coach you trust.
That's a Super Bowl contender, is it not?
Couple things. They can't run the ball, and I want to see what happens with Khalil Mack.
He got hurt last night.
He got hurt last night, elbow injury. I want to see what happens with him, and I want to see whether or not they're going to be able to get any traction with the running game. Because they're going to have to run the football. A big part of being a championship contender is being able to run the ball when teams know you're going to be able to run the ball. That has to be...
Which Harbaugh's been great at.
That has to be your closer, right? Like I say, a couple of things in the NFL that close games, it's 4th quarter pass rush, and it's being able to run the ball in your 4-minute offense. I want to see whether or not the Chargers can do the latter.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you want to go to ESPN Bet today, check out that over-under number for the Chargers, because based on what CC said, you may want to consider that over.
From kickoff to cash out, ESPN Bet has the tools you need to score more on game days. Bet smarter with stats at your fingertips. Get personalized parlays built just for you, and with your fantasy football teams synced right in the app, you can back your squad. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Sign up with promo code USL to get started. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York. He almost threw a pick to Cam Pratt.
Hey, this is Rich Eisen. Coming up on Tuesday's show, we're joined by Green Bay Packers quarterback Jordan Love and actor Adam Devine in studio, plus Overreaction Monday on a Tuesday. That's on our Tuesday edition of the Rich Eisen Show on Disney+, the ESPN app, and ESPN Radio.
New Beyond Raw Lit V2 pre-workout. GNC's #1 pre-workout. Now with harder hitting energy, an intense mind-body connection, and enhanced endurance support. This isn't just pre-workout, it's precision engineering for your body. Turbocharge your workout with new Beyond Raw Lit V2. Available now at GNC and GNC.com.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlogged projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
This is Joe Budden. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. So I'm here to make sure you don't miss any of the daily fantasy action this football season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right.
Download the Prize Picks app today and use code OT to get $50 in site credits after you play your first $5. That's code OT to get $50 in site credits after you play your first $5. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Hi, I'm Dorina, co-founder of OpenPhone. My dad is a business owner, and growing up, he always kept his ringtone super loud, so he'd never miss a customer call. OpenPhone gives your team business phone numbers to call and text, all in one shared workspace. And our AI agent answers 24/7, so you never miss a customer. Over 60,000 businesses use OpenPhone. Get 20% off at openphone.com/ESPN. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers.
I like things my way. My coffee, my schedule, and my treatment. So I talked to my doctor about self-injecting with the new Vyvgart Hytrulo prefilled syringe, which contains Efgartigimod alpha and hyaluronidase QVFC. It's injected under your skin, subcutaneously. Now I can inject in my space on my time. It's my treatment, my way. Visit VyvgartMyWay.com. That's VYVGART myway.com. And talk to your doctor about Vyvgart Hytrulo. Brought to you by Argenix.
If you're a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility and your machinery isn't working right, Grainger knows you need to understand what's wrong as soon as possible. So when a conveyor motor falters, Grainger offers diagnostic tools like calibration kits and multimeters to help you identify and fix the problem. With Grainger, you can be confident you have everything you need to keep your facility running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Just like in sports, businesses succeed when you add the right free agent. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters experience, combined with their award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Learn more at roberthalf.com/talent.
The FIFA World Cup 26 is coming to North America next summer. It will be the ultimate celebration of sports and culture. Get closer to the beautiful game with a hospitality package. Closer to the action in the best seats and suites. Closer to match day, elevated with world-class food and entertainment. Closer to the experience of a lifetime. Book a hospitality package at FIFAWorldCup.com/hospitality.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/save.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Some people just know you can save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like to check if they're going for it on 4th down before going to the concession stand.
Yeah, give me 3 hot dogs, 2 jumbo crisps. Touchdown, baby! What?
Hey, buddy, you want cheese with those? Yeah, checking first is smart.
No.
So check Allstate first and see what you could save. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Potential savings vary, including based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
number 5 to number 1.
The best of the best of the best, sir.
These are the Chris Canty Power Rankings.
Yes, you're listening to Unsportsmanlike. Evan Cohen, Michelle Smallman. And it's 6:30 on a Tuesday, which means we love to rank stuff.
That's right.
So we got my power rankings going into week 3, the top 5 NFL teams. And my power rankings are brought to you by SoFi. Get your money right. We got a lot to get to with this. So without further ado, Pat Costello.
Number 5.
The Los Angeles Rams. First 2-0 start since 2021 when they won the Super Bowl. So far, so good for Matthew Stafford's bad back. He's top 10 in QBR, top 5 in yards, 3 touchdowns to 1 pick. And the wide receiver tandem of Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams has been among the best in the early going. But the real story is the defense. The defense is top 5 in points and yards, number 1 in defensive EPA. They've only allowed 1 touchdown in 2 games, 2nd in sacks and 5th in opponent QBR. Green Bay aside, I'm not sure there's a tougher defensive front to block in all of football. Byron Young, Jared Verse, Kobe Turner, Brady Fisk, so on and so forth. Those dudes are absolutely ballers. They came a play away from beating the Philadelphia Eagles last year in the divisional round of the playoffs. Last season, they returned to the scene of the crime in week 3 for an opportunity for retribution. It'll be interesting to see how the Rams measure up this go-round against the reigning defending Super Bowl champs.
For the team that said bleep them picks, they're pretty good at picking.
Yeah, they are.
Every player you just mentioned, if I'm not mistaken, is a Rams draft pick.
No doubt.
On the defensive side of the ball.
No doubt.
They have the, you know what?
They have a lot of young talent.
Well, give teams credit when they have a clear-cut black and white strategy. When they were going for the Super Bowl with that older core, bleep them picks. Now that they're rebuilding, use the picks. And they're using them well, and, that's a strategy. You know what the Rams are doing. They have done a hell of a job, and they are legit Super Bowl contenders.
Absolutely. And they got another one, Josiah Stewart, who's a baller, too, another edge rush guy. I think he's out of Michigan. Another guy that you got to keep an eye on. They got so many guys in that front 7 that can be disruptive. Next.
Number 4.
The Baltimore Ravens. 16, they're the 6th team in the last 50 seasons to score 40-plus points in each of the first 2 games of the season. And Sunday was Lamar Jackson's 11th career game with 4 passing touchdowns and 0 interceptions, breaking a tie with Pat Mahomes for the most by a quarterback in their first 8 seasons in the NFL history. Maybe the most impressive part about their Week 2 win over the Browns is that the Ravens did it with Derrick Henry likely having the least amount of production that he'll have in a game all season long, only 23 yards rushing. The Ravens will benefit from the Burrow injury in terms of margin for error, penciling in a couple of more wins on the ledger. The biggest question is, can the pass defense and the pass rush continue to improve?
So they took out their frustrations from that Buffalo loss on the Bills. I was looking at their schedule this morning, actually. The next 4 games are going to tell us a lot about the Ravens. Maybe this 3rd game, not so much after what we saw last night from the Texans. But they have the Lions, at the Chiefs, the Texans, and then the Rams. It's going to be an interesting 4-game stretch for the Baltimore Ravens.
Those first 3, record-wise, are not good teams, which is wild. I agree with you, but it's weird to think, of that, only the Chargers would be, record-wise, a really good team right now. Lions, 1-1. Chiefs 0-2, and then
Texans and Rams
0-2, and then the Rams, obviously. Sorry, what did I say? I said it a little.
Chargers.
Yeah, sorry, Rams. Thank you. Go ahead. Sorry.
Next.
Number 3.
The Buffalo Bills. They won by 3 possessions on the road without Josh Allen scoring a touchdown. The Bills have 900 yards without a single turnover this season. Ooh. Buffalo was the 5th team since 1933 to have 900 yards and 0 turnovers through the first 2 games of the season, along with the 2020 Packers, 2019 Ravens, 2017 Patriots, 2016 Raiders. All of those teams won at least a dozen games. Buffalo has won the turnover battle in 24 straight games, including the playoffs, the longest streak in NFL history. Put simply, they let you make all the mistakes, and they take full advantage of it. And they have the best player in the sport in Josh Allen.
I think that they could be number 1. The fact that they're number 3 indicates how good the first 2 teams on your list probably are, because I don't know that anyone would look at Buffalo and say, boy, there's so many teams playing better football than they are. Josh Allen is now this guy, which is so weird to say, at least in the regular season. He's a find-a-way-to-win guy.
Oh, yeah.
For years, he was the find a way to lose guy because he would just give the other team the ball.
I was going to say, though, no turnover. Well, not no, but he's really gotten those under control.
Man, he's playing at a different level, and I contend that the MVP has given this dude a different level of confidence, a different level of swag.
Totally agree.
Just putting it out there. These are the Canty Power Rankings brought to you by SoFi. Get your money right. So far, we got the Buffalo Bills checking in at 3, Baltimore Ravens at number 4, Los Angeles Rams at number 5, Pat Costello.
Number 2.
The Green Bay Packers. The Packers currently have plus 650 odds to win the Super Bowl. Shorter odds than the reigning defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. And the reason for that is that defense. We got a chance to see it up close and personal last week. That defense shut down the Lions and the Commanders in back-to-back weeks. Both those teams ranked inside the top 5 in NFL in scoring last season. The Lions ranked first at 33.2 points per game in 2024. And guess what? They combined for 31 points versus the Packers this season. Against Washington, the Green Bay Packers pass rush notched 24 pressures, 12 quarterback hits, 4 sacks on 52 dropbacks. They allowed only 4 first downs and 82 yards of offense to Washington in the first half while mounting a double-digit lead. The only reason, and I mean the only reason, why the Green Bay Packers are not number 1 in my rankings is because I have a healthy amount of respect for experience.
Let's get to number 1 then.
Number 1.
The Philadelphia Eagles. Tush push on life support again? Eagles may have won the battle, beating the Chiefs in the Super Bowl 59 rematch on Sunday, but it could cost them the war. The latest push for exiting the most controversial play in the league is gaining traction because the play is officiated differently than any other play in the game. Philly is still a supremely talented ball club, and they have the blueprint on getting to Super Bowls. But the question is, will we feel differently about their prospects this season if the NFL shifts course on how they officiate the tush push?
In season, you think they could do it?
In terms of calling offsides on the offense, on calling neutral zone infractions, on calling false starts? Absolutely.
So the emphasis, not the rules.
The emphasis.
Got it. Okay, I misunderstood that.
The emphasis.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So I think that we had to have you do 1 before we get back to 2 here, because obviously the healthy amount of respect you're talking about with the Eagles. Tell me if you agree with this, and then obviously Smalls, all the omissions, etc. Do you believe the Packers are playing better football today than the Eagles, but because the Eagles won the Super Bowl last year and are 2-0 and have won 18 of 19 games, that properly impacts your thought process? Because both can be true. Packers may be playing better football, but how do you supplant a team that won the Super Bowl, runs it back, and is 2-0?
This is going to sound strange. I think the Packers have a higher ceiling than the Philadelphia Eagles.
That doesn't sound strange to me, honestly.
That defense?
I think it's they have a higher ceiling. Now, will they get there? I don't know. I do trust the Philadelphia Eagles to maximize whatever potential that they have in that locker room, more so than Green Bay, just because I've seen the Eagles do it.
Mm-hmm. I'll try to put a number, so to speak, on this. I understand what you're saying, even though it sounds weird. In your mind, you probably are playing out, if the Packers win the Super Bowl, we could get there in February and be like, that wasn't even that hard for them. They were that good. Where the Eagles may win a lot of one-score games in getting there. That's the difference between the ceiling and the accomplishment. Because the Eagles are more likely to do it because we've seen it. But if the Packers do it, they may pummel teams along the way.
But here's the thing. The Packers...
If they do it.
They are destroying teams. Even though the score doesn't look like it,
they're controlling the game.
These aren't close games.
Correct.
Their offense isn't even close to being as good as it possibly can be.
No, actually, we sat there. They had misses. They had misses.
So many, there were 2 Matthew Golden misses on explosive passing plays from Jordan Love. 2 of them.
Yep.
He underthrew 1, he overthrew 1. Both of them would have been touchdowns. This Green Bay team is scary.
Philly, Green Bay, Buffalo, Baltimore, the Rams, in that order, 1 through 5 power rankings.
Those are the power rankings. Michelle Smallman, you are my accountability partner. Any objections, any omissions?
Well, I'm sure there's 2 fan bases who are listening right now that are upset that they were omitted. What about the Bucs? What about the Chargers?
I ain't going to do it with the Chargers.
Why not?
Not just yet.
Why not?
Because, man, I've been burned by the Chargers too many times. Every time I think this is going to be the Chargers' year. They close to the Dallas Cowboys. They cousins with the Cowboys in terms of thinking it's going to be their year, and then they fall apart. So I'm going to be as patient as I need to be with the L.A. Chargers before I anoint them. As far as the Buccaneers, I like the Bucs. I don't love the Bucs. And the biggest issue that I have with them is the injuries. And then when we consider the other teams that I've got as the creme de la creme of the NFC, I don't think their quarterback has the same level of horsepower as Matt Stafford or as Jordan Love or as Jalen Hurts. So that's why I'm putting that caveat with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I gave them consideration. They would be honorable mention on this list. They would be the next team that I would have in my power rankings, but I couldn't elevate them above what I've seen from the LA Rams or the Baltimore Ravens or the Buffalo Bills, so on and so forth.
Got it.
So there you go. Power rankings 1 through 5. Again, Philly, Green Bay, Buffalo, Baltimore, and the Rams. Coming up, why one MVP pick on our show cannot happen per some. We will get to that after we get to this, where on Friday night, Michelle Smallman was told by all of her friends, you know what? Your hair looks great. Why is that?
Yeah, they said your pitch wasn't good, but your hair looked amazing.
I never said that. I said about the hair.
Well, I told you, and it's because of Nutrafol. Have you heard of Nutrafol and thought, do hair growth supplements actually work? Well, that's the 1.5 million people, including me, taking it, and it does work, and I love it. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist-recommended hair growth supplement brand, clinically tested using industry-leading hair measurement tools like hair counts, pull tests, and published peer-reviewed studies. Plus, it's NSF content certified, so you know it's safe and you know it's reliable. You can see results in just 3 to 6 months. Go to Nutrafol.com, get $10 off your first month plus free shipping. That's Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com.
This is Unsportsmanlike.
Unsportsmanlike. You would take ice cream cake over carrot cake every day.
I don't know if I would do that.
You've had the Carvel ones, haven't you, CeCe?
I had the Carvel ones, yeah. I'm not ashamed to say I've ordered an entire Carvel ice cream cake for myself.
There you go.
I've done it. The whale, yeah, I've done it. And here's the thing. It wasn't anybody's birthday. I just wanted to treat myself, and I kept it all for me.
Unsportsmanlike. More coming up next.
What would you do if your online store converted 36% more shoppers? You could take 36% more vacation.
Another pina colada?
Yes, please.
Open a new retail location with 36% more square feet.
Fantastic.
Hire 36% more help.
You're hired and you're hired.
Shopify has the world's best converting checkout, up to 36% better than other e-commerce platforms. What you do with those extra sales is up to you. Switch to Shopify today at shopify.com/streaming and get a $1 trial. Shopify.com/streaming.
You ever wake up with a sore throat, feeling a little off, and you know you're getting sick? Well, getting sick and going on the IL isn't an option, especially for me when I'm traveling for work. You can try to see a doctor, well, good luck there, or go sit for hours in an urgent care. Nope. That's why you need a medical emergency kit. This isn't some cheap first aid kit, okay? Your medical emergency kit comes packed with doctor-prescribed meds. It's like having an urgent care and a pharmacy right there in your home. If you're coming down with the flu, bam, here's your Z-Pack. You've got gastrointestinal issues, here's your Bactrim. From Z-Pack to ivermectin, amoxicillin, and doxycycline to treat strep, pneumonia, sinus infections, UTIs, COVID, and more. It's all right there in your kit. Just match your symptoms to the guide or talk with their telehealth doc. No doctor waiting rooms, no pharmacy lines. Order online in minutes and get $50 off with the code SMALLS at urgentcarekit.com/SMALLS. Get yours now at urgentcarekit.com/SMALLS. Use the promo code SMALLS.
Quick break. Want to make a big play on your next paint project? Go with Behr Marquee Interior Paint and Primer. Only at the Home Depot. With over 1,000 colors, exceptional hide, and advanced stain blocking, Behr Marquee is built to stand up to real life. No do-overs, no wasted weekends, just bold color and a finish that holds strong. One coat coverage, no overtime. Behr Marquee. Only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Valid only when tinted to colors from the Behr Marquee Interior One Coat Hide Collection.
With Robinhood, not only can you trade individual stocks and ETFs, you can also seamlessly buy and sell crypto at low costs. Trade all in one place. Get started now on Robinhood. Trading crypto involves significant risk. Crypto trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Crypto LLC. Robinhood Crypto is licensed to engage in virtual currency business activity by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Crypto held through Robinhood Crypto is not FDIC insured or SIPC protected. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Securities trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
Hi, I'm Morgan. I have 3 kids. I have an IQ of 160. I work with the cops.
You're a cop?
No, but they do sign my paychecks.
Caitlin Olsen returns in High Potential, the #1 drama.
She was abducted. You knew that already, didn't you?
Yeah, I thought it'd be nice to let you have this one.
And one of the best new crime procedurals.
You're waiting on me to leave so you can poke around without a warrant, aren't you?
Yeah.
High Potential season premiere tonight, 10/9 Central on ABC and stream on Hulu.
This is Unsportsmanlike.
We are Unsportsmanlike here on ESPN Radio. ESPN2, we are presented by Progressive Insurance. Big day today. Shefty, Graz, Seth freaking Rollins, Michael Chiklis, great actor, got a new movie coming out. We are busy. Jordan Love today, 12:20 p.m. Eastern on Rich Eisen.
My quarterback.
Your quarterback. Unsportsmanlike, presented by Progressive Insurance. They offer auto, home, and commercial auto insurance, plus a variety of business insurance options. Visit Progressive.com today. So something happened at the end of the Super Bowl rematch on Sunday between the Eagles and the Chiefs that caught people's attention. That Chris Jones of the Kansas City Chiefs kind of was calling out Jalen Hurts as the game was ending, which was odd because the Chiefs lost the game and was caught on the hot mic with Fox. And they were just kind of going back and forth. And Jalen Hurts goes basically scoreboard, like we won the game. Again, what are we talking about here? And a lot of the members of our show started saying, and we have 2 Eagles fans on the show, and Pat Costello and Cam Pratt, 2 producers on the show, saying this is why Jalen Hurts never will win the MVP. And I picked him for the MVP before the season because he had low numbers relative to passing, 100-some-odd yards, and they won. But the people around the league don't respect him in the way that they maybe should. And Jalen Hurts had this to say post-game about what it's about for him.
Game isn't necessarily won off of fireworks. It's won off of scoring more points than the other team. And so that's what we're able to do. And that's complementary football. That's what it's about. In the end, you play the game for one reason. You play the game to win, nothing more, nothing less. And I'm happy that we were able to find a way to win.
15 of 22, 101, and a rushing touchdown. Is that kind of performance why he will never win MVP?
Well, I'm not going to say he's never going to win MVP. The guy came, in second in 2022 in MVP voting? He would have won MVP that season had it not been for a shoulder injury he suffered in Chicago late in the year. I'm not going to say he's never going to win MVP, but I will say it's refreshing that you actually have a quarterback that doesn't care about the stats.
Yes, sir.
This is a guy that genuinely just cares about winning, that cares about greatness. We've seen how he's conducted himself. He hasn't been on the celebratory tour this offseason, just allowing everybody to tell him how great he is. This guy is seeking out other great athletes, all-timers, and trying to figure out what the secret sauce is for sustained success. Now that he's won one, he just wants it more. He talked about it in the interview, the sit-down interview he did leading up to the Super Bowl 59 rematch on Sunday. He said he learned more about himself after the Super Bowl loss than he did after the Super Bowl win because he realized how much he wanted it. I'm sorry, if you're a fan of an NFL team, how could you not want your quarterback to have this type of attitude? How could you not want the leader of your football team to have this type of mentality, to set the agenda for everybody in the entire organization? It's clear that Jalen Hurts is willing to sacrifice whatever it takes in order to win a championship. And when that's your leader, everybody, and I mean everybody, is in a position where they have to be willing to do the same. And when you have a group of men that's willing to sacrifice personal glory, individual accolades, and prioritize team success above all else, that's a team that can do something special.
Jalen Hurts sets that agenda. He's the CEO of the football team. The franchise quarterback always is, right? What did we see last year? Saquon Barkley saying, I don't care about the record. I don't care about my individual success. I'm going to rest my body so that I'm at my best for my team when we go on to win the Super Bowl. The Eagles, the stars on the Eagles team, they are really selfless in that way. And that's why they're able to have the ultimate team success, because it doesn't matter what they do individually. I know Saquon said, I want to win the MVP, and he obviously was well on his way to doing that last year. But when Jalen Hurts takes that approach, you're right, Cece, no one else is immune from it. Everybody else has to fall in line. When your quarterback is saying, I don't care what my numbers look like, I don't care what I have to do, I don't care what it looks like in order for us to get the win, everybody else falls in line, and you saw it bear out last year. You saw the unselfish approach from the Eagles last year that directly benefited them in winning the Super Bowl.
He's played in 2 games, obviously. 34 of 45, 253 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, and I think he's had a great season so far. 3 rushing touchdowns. He controls the game. Like, I don't know where this anti-Jalen Hurts argument has come from, why Chris Jones, who's great, felt like, I'm going to talk junk to him at the end of the game that we're losing, which was an odd move. But, like, Jalen Hurts has done his job this year. He's prevented the other team from having the football. He's controlled the games. He played in 2 high-profile games. The first game of the season against Dallas. I understand that they're not, it's not Aikman, Irvin, and Emmitt Smith playing for Dallas. I understand that. But it's a standalone first game of the season. And then he's in a Super Bowl rematch. They're 2-0. He hasn't thrown a touchdown. He hasn't thrown an interception. And people feel like, I can rag on him. Let me be clear on this. He is at worst the 4th best quarterback in the NFL. Jalen Hurts, at worst, is the 4th best quarterback in the NFL. That's fact. Well, it's not fact, it's opinion. But that's my fact. At worst, he's the 4th best quarterback in the NFL. You want to take Mahomes over him? Obviously. You want to take Lamar and Josh over him? Fine. There's no one else. And
isn't it interesting? I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go.
I just think it's interesting that the 2 most winningest quarterbacks over the last 3 years in the NFL don't care about stats.
Mahomes and
Jalen Hurts. They don't care about stats. Like everybody, and I said it, and I'm guilty of it coming into this season. Oh, Mahomes, the numbers, the trajectory is going in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
But guess what? He's winning games. Mahomes was 15-1 as a starter last year.
Both of them have rings on their fingers, too.
Jalen Hurts. They